Hi, I'm Matt Sipes, a design consultant here at Remodel, and I've worked on a lot of different types of remodels over the years. And recently we worked on a 1950s Southeast Portland basement remodel. By the end of this video, you're gonna know what it's like to go through a basement remodel and end up with a beautiful functional space at the end. So when we first talked to Renee and Jay, they wanted more living space, but they didn't want to do an addition at their home.
The problem that we had with our house is that we're small house people. And so we bought this small house knowing that as our family grew, the house was gonna have to grow without changing the footprint of the house.
And so they wanted to try and find a way to create more living space within their home.
We bought the house knowing that this basement was just untapped potential square footage. And so they were able to really turn it into completely usable, functional space. Like, I don't feel like there's an inch of that untapped square footage that isn't being fully utilized right now.
A lot of people are concerned about having contractors in their home and the disruption to their life that can create.
Our family had gone through a major renovation before, and so we were pretty familiar with what it felt like to have people coming and going through your house all the time.
And so they knew what the process was like, and their mother actually had done a project with us. So they were very comfortable with our process and knew that we would treat their home with respect.
In our previous remodel experience, before we worked with Lamont Brothers, we worked separately with a designer to come up with more of like a layout plan, and then we worked with a construction company to implement that plan. So the idea of working with a design build company was extremely appealing to us for this remodel because of that past experience. I wanted to be able to turn the whole project over to a team that was really integrated, that could kind of take my initial ideas of like spaces that I like, things that we know we kind of want to use the space for, and just run with it, and then have this magical space at the very end of it, which I feel like is what we got.
So every remodeling project has obstacles, and this one was no exception. Three things that we had to deal with were the stairs not meeting code. They wanted the mechanicals to be in their own separate space, and then they wanted to maximize the amount of light coming into the space. So with the stairs, we did have to rebuild them to meet code. We had at the bottom of the stairs, they didn't quite meet the head height requirement, so we had to rebuild those.
I mean, one of the many times that Lamont Brothers went the extra mile is when Corey had to build our stairs twice. It's like a real tight space. There's no wiggle room at all to like meet code.
And then with the mechanicals, we just created a separate room that had the furnace, the water heater, all of the laundry facilities, and separated that from the living space.
Can we just please have it in a room with a door, with a little cat door on it so the cats can come in and out, but like we don't have to see that space and have that be like defining our basement.
And then with the egress window, we were able to just maximize it and make it as big as possible so that not only did it meet code, but it also brought as much light into that space as possible.
What I love about the finished product is that it feels like there's a lot of light, like everything feels really open. The pandemic also hit in the middle of our remodel. I mean, this is like March of 2020 when people were like afraid to go outside because of the air. And we were able to continue our project during that time too, because everything was separate. Like we were upstairs on the main floor, the crew was down here.
Hi, I'm Corey Penna, and I was the superintendent that built this project. We cut the whole side of their foundation and framed everything in. Every single day, that was where we walked in and out of the project. All our materials went through there, all of our subcontractors went through there. We literally left the 2 windows to be installed at the last minute.
So this project turned out great.
On our wish list, our like harebrained idea was that we really wanted a sauna down here. There's parts of the basement that aren't gonna have a window, and it seemed like, isn't that where you want your sauna? Is in this like little kind of dark corner that's actually really warm and cozy.
They really wanted to add a sauna, but they didn't think it would fit in the budget. And so through the design, we were able to figure out a way to make that work for them in their budget.
I mean, now that the space is completed and we've lived in it for a couple of years, we just honestly can't imagine not having the space. It feels like a natural extension of the original like finished part of the house, which is the main floor.
So they really enjoyed having our crew on site every day, which is something I hear from a lot of our clients. They develop a bond with our carpenters that are there working every day in their home. And that just feels really good to hear that our crew is not only doing a good job and creating good work, but appreciated by the homeowners as they're doing the work.
One of the really fun parts about this project was actually being able to interact with the clients during this period of time. Oftentimes when we were sitting on their patio eating lunch, the kids would come out, we'd chat with them for a while and describe what we were doing and performing that day. I remember one instance in the project, we were building the form for their egress window, and after we poured, I ran inside and I grabbed Renee and I grabbed her kids, and we stamped their hands and feet into the mold before it cured. And leaving the project and stripping the mold, it was amazing kind of see that there was a moment that they had part of the whole entire construction period.
They made us feel really comfortable from the beginning though, and so it never really felt like we had strangers in our house. During that time, it felt like they were just like, you know, cousins or whatever. I have 3 small children and my children like loved the construction crew and like actually really enjoyed seeing them come every day to and from the work site and like having their lunch break, and like my boys would like go try to sit with them during their lunch break, and the crew was like so nice to my children, and you know, they all want to be like construction workers now basically after that experience. So it was pretty sweet.
So if you're doing a remodel in the Portland area, go check out our website. We've got a great resource center there where you can get all kinds of great articles about remodeling and helpful tips. And then also check out our YouTube channel and subscribe. We've got a bunch of good videos that will be really helpful for you. We look forward to working with you.